choice of a new generation.
Harry Carey back in Wrigley Field. We go to the top of the third. Don Nystrom of the River North Distributors here with a bunch of Budweiser wholesalers in one of these super boxes, deluxe box. They have about 66 of those boxes.
67, Harry. They sold 64, and they keep 3 to rent on a daily basis. And you can see the plush surroundings of the mezzanine boxes.
The pitch. Dernier lifts a high fly ball into left field, should be caught. Webster takes care of Dernier's high fly ball. Yeah, instead of only doing the games from the bleachers this year, let's do one from the super box and one from the roof. I still would love to have to do a broadcast from the roof. One out, nobody on. And there's a pitch to Tommy Herr, a little bit low.
Arnie said he'd like you on top of the scoreboard, Harry, but it's not quite windy enough today for you up there.
My nose bleeds easily, Barney. One ball, no strikes, no score. Now the pitch. Tommy Herr takes the strike call.
We have our first birthday greetings of the year. Happy birthday to Joey Nicole and Joe Colsand.
One man out, nobody on. Paul O'Neill had 4 out of 4 for the Reds, putting a 3-run homer as they beat the Dodgers last night. Ground ball to Grace Hazard. The toss to the pitcher covering for the out. From Grace to Sutcliffe. 2 men up, 2 men down. And here is Von Hayes, who bounced out his first time, which was news, because he hit Sutcliffe as if he owns him. Howard Johnson hit a 3-run homer for the Mets as they beat the Cardinals 8-4 behind Dwight Gooden last night. And how about Baltimore? They did something last night. It took them all of April to do last year, win a ball game. They beat the Red Sox 5-4.
And Frank Robinson went in to renegotiate his contract.
2 men out, nobody on. Hayes, the batter, a little bit low.
Well, the Mets are pretty happy, Harry. They shopped Howard Johnson around all spring and couldn't make a deal for him. They wind up keeping him, and he wins the game for them.
The deal they were trying to make was for Wade Boggs.
Well, they also offered him to San Diego in the Sandy Alomar Jr. deal, and San Diego wound up sending Alomar Jr. to the minor league.
Now the pitch, here it is. I'll bet you anything. He has a return airline ticket in his hip pocket.
I don't know if he's going to play much with San Diego. I think they've cast their lot with Benito Santiago, and justifiably so, because he's proven at the major league level. But Jack McKean knows he's got a very valuable trading chip in Sandy Alomar Jr., and he's going to hold him out to the highest bidder. If a contender's catcher goes down, that's where Alomar Jr. will probably wind up.
Now the pitch, barely missed, ball 3. And Sutcliffe asked him to appeal Allen, and they do, but Steve Ripley says no, he did not swing.
Now he's got to make a very dangerous pitch to Hayes, who ripped a 3-1 pitch foul last time up in the first inning. And this is where every hitter wants a pitcher. He wants him ahead, 3-1. He knows he's got to come to him.
3 balls and the strike. Fouls it back. He had a good cut. The pitch was to the outer portion of the plate. You know, Sutcliffe knows how well Von Hayes hits him, and Hayes knows it also.
I'd like to see him stay away from Hayes here with either that good tailing fastball or a breaking ball. You got Schmidt due up next, but he's not the same Mike Schmidt that tormented the Cubs in years past.
3-2. Struck him out! A curveball on the outside corner. Hayes is called out on strike. 1-2-3. We go in the bottom of the third, still no score.
What's that? He's got our flashlight. Over there.
Good monkey. But Ed said Bud Light.
If you want the one light that outshines them all, ask for Bud Light, because everything else is just a light.
It's so hard to get good help.
When you started driving, you pretended your car was real.
Come on, Joey, faster!
But now you wish your real car gave you as little trouble as that old soapbox. And while Unical can't promise that, we can offer a premium unleaded gasoline that can give you a smoother ride and keep your fuel injectors clean.
Fill her up?
Sure, Murph. Give us the best you got. And check the oil, too.
Will that be cash or credit, gentlemen?
This is my lawn, and I love to work on it. I feed it. I keep track of its growth, its thickness. I know every inch of this lawn, and if there's a problem, I fix it. I give it the kind of care and attention you just can't count on from any lawn care company. I mean, this may not be my house, but it is my lawn.
We care and it shows.
Ken Lawn, we care and it shows.
Save $8 on Puma. The Diamond Demon 2 baseball shoes, only $25.96. Sport Mart guarantees Puma for less.
Sport Mart for the way you play.
It's baseball under the lights for opening night 89. Tomorrow night at 6:30 on Channel 9.
Power, power.
Harry Carey back at Wrigley Field. Sean Dunston leading it off. Remember, tomorrow night, first night game of the year here at Wrigley Field. The pitch. That evens the count. 7 o'clock ball game, isn't it?
6:30, I believe.
6:30? That early? 1 ball, 1 strike. Trying to bunt his way on, but he bunts foul back. There's John Vukovic, one of the coaches of Nick Leyva. Larry Boa is also a coach.
It's going to be important for Sean Dunston to be successful the first couple times he lays the ball down. You want him to keep trying to bunt the ball. He promises to do it a lot more this year, and if he can pull that third baseman in, it does give him a hole between third and short.
Gee, foul tips. 1-2 the count. Darren Daulton limping around.
There's Larry Boa with Tony Taylor sitting to his left. 2 more of the coaches. Dennis Menke added to the coaching staff along with Darrell Knowles, the pitching coach. Mike Ryan, also one of the coaches. They've added a few new faces in Philadelphia, not only on the field, but also in the coaches' ranks.
They sure have a deep supply of coaches. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He struck him out, a bad ball. Dunston fans the first time up in the 1989 season.
Tonight on Channel 9, Kurt Russell will do anything to save his car lot. It's a wild and crazy comedy. Tonight's 7 o'clock movie, Used Cars. Then join Rick Rosenthal and Pat Harvey for complete election results on the 9 o'clock news. It's all later tonight on Chicago's very own Channel 9.
Here's Joe Girardi batting for the first time in the Major League. Good strike call. Yeomans has allowed only 1 hit. The Phillies have had 2. No score. Bottom of the third. There's a high fly ball. Bobby DERNIER coming in. And he had trouble just as Jerome Walton did. Must be tough out there in center field with the wind seemingly blowing out.
All right, both fly balls were knocked down. This ball did not drift to DERNIER. It actually was knocked down in front of him, and Bobby didn't get a good jump on the ball. Now he's looking to right field. Ron Jones has got no chance to make this play. And so Joe Girardi breaks into the big leagues like he did all spring, hitting the ball not particularly hard, but in good spots.
Well, Girardi's having a lot of first. Threw out the first man who tried to steal. Made the first error. Got the first hit.
And would love to score the first run.
Which could win the ball game. Here's Sutcliffe. There goes a runner. Base hit. Left field. Girardi on his way to third. He'll make it easily. The hit and run. And Rick Sutcliffe hit it right through the vacated shortstop position. And the Cubs have runners at first and third with only one out.
And what a call by Don Zimmer. Nobody in the ballpark knew that was coming, and he had a man up at bat that could use the bat, and that's Rick Sutcliffe. Hits it through the vacated shortstop position as Dickie Thon goes over to cover. Joe Girardi, with pretty good speed for a catcher, goes all the way to third. And without hitting the ball out of the ballpark, and Don Zimmer knows he's not going to have a big power year, you have to use some motion. What a surprise to see Girardi and Sutcliffe with the first hit and run of the year.
Well, Girardi, the catcher, and had to surprise the Phillies completely with a catcher at first and a pitcher batting. On the very first pitch, Zim put on the hit and run and the work. Walton line drive, base hit, drives in the first run. And the Cubs lead 1-0. Jerome Walton line to single to left. Driving in Girardi, who does score the first run. For Walton, his first major league hit.
Good base running play by Joe Girardi. He goes back to third base to tag up in case Chris James makes the catch, and still has plenty of time to score. A lot of guys will go halfway, and if a guy comes in and makes a catch, there's nothing he can do. So good play all around, and will isolate on Girardi. You'll see him go back to the bag. Good camera work, guys. You picked it up. Here comes Girardi scoring the first run of the year.
Now here is Mitch Webster. Double play ball hit to the second baseman. Out at second, out at first, and out of the inning. But the Cubs score 1 run on 3 hits. No errors and 1 man left. White stats will be coming along in a moment to join Steve. This is Harry Carey from Wrigley Field. At the end of 3 innings, the Cubs won, the Phillies nothing.
Hi there. How you doing?
In the market for a used car? Well, here's a dealer who's got to unload his wheels any way he can.
Trust me.
Kurt Russell leads the wildest car stampede ever.
Trust me?
Used car.
Trust me!
Tonight at 7 on Channel 9.
This kind of love is mythical. It's anything but typical. Simply irresistible. Simply irresistible, man. There's no other way to go. Simply irresistible.
Next time, come to where the price is cheap, but the merchandise isn't. Builders Square.
There are a million reasons to drive a Nissan Sentra, and everyone is different.
First time that I saw you, I knew it was meant to be. Every day together, you keep pleasing me. You got the way to move me, yeah. You got the way.
The Nissan Sentra, the inexpensive car people drive because they want to.
Steve Martin. He used to be a jerk. Now he's a lonely guy.
Thursday night at 7 on Channel 9.
With Steve Stone and our producer, director Artie Harris, Dwayne Stats with you now from Wrigley Field, opening day. Cubs out in front 1-0 as we move into the top half of the 4th inning. A little daring on the part of the Cubs and a couple rookies coming through in the bottom of the 3rd. Steve?
You have to surprise, Dwayne, when you can't hit the ball out of the ballpark, and certainly it was a surprise with Girardi breaking and Rick Sutcliffe on the perfectly executed hit and run.
And now Mike Schmidt opens the 4th inning, driving one back into center field. Walton back on the edge of the track, onto the track, and he makes the catch. So Schmidt, who reached on Walton's second inning error, goes after the first pitch and skies to center.
Every fly ball is an adventure today, and every fly ball is dangerous. The wind is blowing out. It looks to be about 25 miles an hour. So if you get one up in the wind, and Schmidt didn't hit that ball particularly hard, but it did carry back to the track.
And there's a look at the flag and the pennants in center field atop the scoreboard. Gives you an idea what kind of wind we've had here this afternoon. Here's Chris James. James singled his first time. And that's a strike, says Bruce Fleming. James in the lineup in left field. He's had a little competition this spring from the fellow who's playing right field today for the Phillies, Ron Jones. Down and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the Phillies feel that James has responded quite well to the pressure applied.
He hit .322, and they've got 4 outfielders, and you know Samuel is going to be one of them. Samuel's going to start every day in center field, and then it's going to be up to Nick Leyva to juggle the other 3. Today we see Bobby Dernier in center field, but they got 2 capable hitters in Jones and James.
The 1-1. Ball 2. Not only Juan Samuel, but when Ricky Jordan's in the lineup, then they're going to have to do something with Hayes. So you figure he'll go to the outfield. Samuel will go to the outfield. It gets pretty crowded out there.
I think they're going to have a pretty good offense in Philadelphia when they get everybody healthy. But they've got 60% of a new pitching rotation, 3 new right-handers, and they might have some trouble spots in the rotation.
A bouncer to Law at third. Low throw, dug out by Grace, 2 gone. Nice job by the young first baseman, Mark Grace. So we have 2 outs in the 4th. There's another look.
Mark Grace does a very good job here digging this one out. Unfortunately, the ball bounced out in front of him. The farther away the ball bounces, the more time you have to see it. He made a very good play on that one as the ball tried to skip under his glove, but Grace stayed with it.
Here's the fellow, Ron Jones, we spoke of a moment ago. Jones out on a ground ball his first time around. Sutcliffe took a little something off and dropped the slider over. Strike 1.
The book on Jones is you can get him on breaking balls, especially anything off speed. He's geared up for the fastball. He's got a quick, short stroke. Stands on top of the plate, and he's tough to jam.
This one too low, and the count is 1-1. He had 8 home runs in just 33 games last year with the Phillies, hitting .290 after coming up from Maine. He had a season in the lower minors a couple years ago that had the Phillies really raving about him. He hit .371 at the A level. Boy, he hit that ball hard back toward the right field corner and over the head of Andre Dawson. Dawson with a great carom will hold him to a single. Jones with a long single back into the right field corner. So with 2 outs, he sets up at first.
It's a breaking ball that stays up, and a fine play by Dawson. Outfielders can get trapped if they go in too close to the wall. You see Dawson pull up, get the carom off the wall, and then make a beautiful throw to Ryne Sandberg to hold Jones at first base. Good execution on the part of the Gold Glove right fielder, Andre Dawson.
Here's Dickie Thon, the shortstop. Jones back in at first. Sutcliffe worked on with breaking stuff and then got him looking. Slipped the fastball over away from him. So he's 0 for 1 on the strikeout. This one low. Thon now 30 years old.
He hasn't been the same on breaking balls, Dwayne, since Mike Torres hit him in the eye. I don't think he sees the ball particularly well, and he was platooned against left-hand pitchers, but pressed into service now, and he's going to have to look at a lot of right-handed breaking balls until he shows he can handle them.
This one low outside, blocked by Girardi, 2-0. And as a result of that, he also has had to battle the psychological side of that. There's some question as to his physical ability to pick up the breaking ball, and then the psychological factor only compounds it. Another move to first, Jones back in, and boy, I'll tell you, it was not a pretty sight when he was hit by Torres. Fractured the orbital rim around that left eye.
And you're right about the psychological aspects of the injury, because you have to hang in there, and he did something this spring that gave Nick Leyva some hope. Jose De Leon knocked him down. De Leon now pitching with St. Louis. He got up and rifled one off the wall on the next pitch.
There's a strike. 2-1.
Jones normally a base running threat. He stole 16 at Maine last year, but he's had periodic leg problems, so you don't really know at this point just how healthy he is.
There he goes. 2-1, hit on the ground is short. Dunston makes the throw in time, and that takes care of the Phillies in the fourth. No runs, a hit, one left. Bottom of the fourth coming up. Cubs leading 1-0.
Imagine a game with over 70 million prizes, enough for 1 out of 3 people to win. Introducing Scrabble at McDonald's. You can win the delicious McDLT, $1 million instantly, or spell holiday and win a week-long escape to a Holiday Inn. Ooh, this is a nice one. Play Scrabble at McDonald's. In a word, you can win.
Oh, Harold, it's lovely.
I hope you like it.
It reminds me of when we first got electric light back when I was a child.
Oh.
Daddy used to draw his chair up to that light and read to us. Oh, the memories. But, Harold, this is the 80s. And I wanted a Bud Light.
If you want the one light that outshines them all, ask for Bud Light.
Kill the light, will you, Harold?
Because everything else is just a light.
It's been said that the best judge of a car's value is its owner. The fact is, owners rank Buick LeSabre best in its class for initial product quality, salesperson's performance, and delivery. Get the facts. Buick is better.
And now, for a limited time, get 2.9% GMAC financing or up to $1,000 factory cash back on every LeSabre in your Better Buick dealer's huge inventory. Hurry, see your Better Buick dealer today. It's baseball under the lights for opening night 89. Tomorrow night at 6:30 on Channel 9.
Power, power.
Let's be careful out there.
Roll call, 10:30 p.m. tonight on Channel 9.
Opening day at Wrigley Field. We move into the bottom of the fourth inning. Ryne Sandberg will open it. Sandberg, Dawson, and Grace against right-hander Floyd Yeomans. Ryne lined to the third baseman Mike Schmidt his first time. Yeomans misses upstairs, ball one. Steve, the Phillies know they're taking a chance on Yeomans, acquiring him from Montreal along with Jeff Parrott for Kevin Gross. The pitch a strike, and now it's 1-1. But they figure that the upside potential is great if they can get him to realize it.
Well, if you look at his hits per innings pitched over the course of his career, you realize that he's very tough when he gets the ball over the plate.
He misses inside, 2-1.
And here's a youngster who's 29 and 29 at the major league level coming into this year. He's had a lot of personal problems. He's had some physical problems, but he's down 10 pounds from last year. They say he worked pretty hard in spring training.
A ground ball, base hit up the left field line. Extra bases on the way. Sandberg will pull up at second with a double. Hit number 5 for the Cubs of Yeomans as Ryne Sandberg doubles just inside the bag.
Rhino hit the ball very hard the first time up, only lined it right at Schmidt. This time he kept it on the ground and drove it right by Schmidt. And he's seeing the ball very well from Floyd Yeomans, who is not overpowering anymore. And when he misses with the breaking ball, like he did before, he has to come right to the hitter. We isolate for you on Mike Schmidt, who's not quite as quick as he was in years past, but this is a bullet down the line.
Andre Dawson takes the ball low and outside. Andre put a charge into one his first time up, but pulled it foul down the left field line and then struck out swinging. Sandberg in scoring position with a leadoff double. There's a drive, deep left. Forget this one. Goodbye. Home run for Andre Dawson. On a 1-0 pitch, Andre Dawson has just belted a 2-run home run, and the Cubs lead 3-0. Dawson made a bid his first time, made sure this one was fair.
That one had no chance of going foul, Dwayne. It was straight as a string as it left the ballpark. And Andre Dawson just crushed one against the back screen, no doubt about it. All Chris James could do was look up. First home run of the year, the Cubs on top. And Floyd Yeomans making a few mistakes, and the Cubs making him pay for it.
$200 to Cubs Care in the name of True Value Hardware on the home run by Andre Dawson. And here's Mark Grace taking ball one up and in. There's a look at Andre in the Cub dugout. Grace 1 for 1 with a single in this game. There's ball 2. 2-0. Dawson, who hit only one home run all spring, picks up his first home run of the year in his second at bat. Ground ball for her. He'll make the play to Hayes. One gone. So a double and a home run. The Cubs lead 3-0.
Let's take another look at it on the Tribune round tripper replay. It's a fastball up and out over the plate. And the Tribune round tripper replay shows that home run went about 378 feet to left center field.
Here's Vance Law taking the pitch. That's a strike on the outside part of the plate. Let's isolate Andre Dawson, and you figure out when he thought it was gone. Right there? Yes. Boy, he knew he got that one.
When the big guys hit him that hard, there's not much doubt.
This time, Yeomans misses inside to Law. 1-1.
That's going to set the bullpen to work for Philadelphia.
That's Mike Maddox starting to loosen. Ground ball to short. Bobbled by Thon, but he recovers. And the throw in time. There's Maddox in the bullpen.
Nick Leyva said before the game that if he can get the starters to get the game to the 7th inning, he's got some guys in the bullpen, and Jeff Parrott and Steve Bedrosian and Larry McWilliams that can get people out. The only question is, can they get the game to the 7th inning?
Here's Sean Dunston. Sean struck out his first time, pops this one out of play, strike one. Well, that's going to be the question. You know, last year the Phillies led the league in walks allowed, and they were hoping that they could turn that around. As a matter of fact, Gross, who went to Montreal, led the league on an individual basis in walks, but they have a couple fellows in this rotation they've been a little concerned about, and one of them is pitching tomorrow night, Ken Howell, who's been wild most of the spring.
Howell's got a great arm, and you remember him from Los Angeles. He later went to Baltimore, spent a few minutes there, and was traded to Philadelphia.
The one strike pitch, Dunston shortens up, and the pitch bounces by Darren Daulton.
We've got some birthday greetings to send along to Jane Kolb, and congratulations to Jim and Margaret DeJohn, who were married this weekend. Jim's a crowd control supervisor here at Wrigley Field.
1 ball, 1 strike. 1-2. Cubs scored a run in the 3rd inning when Jerome Walton, with his first big league hit, chased home Joe Girardi, who had reached on his first major league hit. Now 2 in the 4th inning on Dawson's home run. Strike 3 called on that outside corner at the knees to retire the side. Cubs score twice, and at the end of 4 have a 3-0 lead.
It's time to welcome spring with a fresh coat of beautiful color during spring spruce-ups at True Value Hardware stores, where True Test Easy Care acrylic latex paint starts at just $10.98 a gallon. Choose velvety flat finish, scrubbable flat enamel for a low sheen look, scrubbable semi-gloss for high traffic areas, and get a high gloss finish with latex gloss enamel. Look for spatter-resistant Easy Care formulas at participating True Value Hardware stores and home centers.
Last quarter sales.
I'm flying out next week.
Good.
Now, who's covering the A
By
market?
the way, I've changed my flight to 7 and...
We'll get those startup cities.
I'm on the 8 o'clock United.
Whenever Chicago leaves town on business, one airline is chosen over all the rest. Because one airline flies to more cities more often, and back to home base.
Pop, there's one more thing. Who's going to fix that leaky faucet?
Rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. United.
Sole faucets all over the country. Ought to be able to fix this one.
Come fly the friendly skies.
Oh, how far? Distance-wise?
Very long. Very, very long.
Oh, I have to give you an exact number and I win something?
Total distance?
All the way to Milwaukee.
From here to Paris.
About 700,000 million feet.
It's baseball under the lights for opening night '89. Tomorrow night at 6:30 on Channel 9.
Cubs baseball is brought to you in part by United Airlines, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies.
Ball game moves into the 5th. Darren Daulton, the catcher for the Phillies, leads it off. Daulton. Yeoman's due to hit next. The pitch to Daulton is too low, ball 1. And then the top of the batting order. Rick Sutcliffe on the mound has struck out 3, hasn't walked anybody. And Daulton puts a charge into this one, deep into right center field, and that ball is gone. Darren Daulton on a 1-0 pitch hits it into the bleachers in right center, and the Phillies are on the scoreboard to make it a 3-1 ball game.
And the ball comes back onto the field to a great hand from everybody in the ballpark, a tradition here at Wrigley Field. Daulton, who did not hit a home run all spring, just took one out of the ballpark. He was one of the crown jewels of the Phillies system. He tore up his leg in 1986. Mike Heath slid into him at the plate, and he's had problems ever since, but no problems on that swing.
Here's Yeomans. He sends a high foul back over the roof down the left side. Here's another look at the home run.
High fastball out over the plate. And Daulton takes it way back.
Out over the plate is right. That shows you how strong Daulton can be to turn that one around. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
You know, they took a gamble. They got rid of Lance Parrish, and they got a pretty good young pitcher in return, a man who throws the ball pretty hard from California. But they felt that Daulton could do the job if his legs could hold out, and he will be given every opportunity.
And Yeomans out on strikes for the 2nd straight time. 4th strikeout for Sutcliffe and the 1st out of the 5th.
The old equalizer for pitchers, the breaking ball. Yeomans looked pretty good on the fastball that he fouled back, but a couple of breaking balls later, and he can watch the rest of this inning.
Here's Bob Dernier. Dernier hit the ball well in the 3rd inning back toward the left field corner as Sutcliffe hung a curveball, but Dernier hit it so high that it got caught in a crosswind back toward the corner and held up for Mitch Webster to catch. Pitched low and away for a ball. Dernier singled his first time around, 1 for 2. There's a strike, and it's 1-1. He's all set and ready to go. He can swing that bat.
Looking for some late inning punch off the bench.
1-1 the count. There's ball 2, low and outside.
Dernier can hit a fastball pretty well, but he has some problems with a right-handed breaking ball. In the last few years, he's been used well by Philadelphia, platooning him against left-hand pitchers. He does very well, and he had a good spring. He hit .319. So he gives him another man who can go catch him in the outfield and hit the left-handers.
There's a strike to even the count at 2-2. He had .289 last year in that role. In his final year with the Cubs, used primarily in that same role and responded quite well. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Throws his bat. The bat goes one way, the ball the other. Picked up by Larry Boa.
You know, Dwayne, you bring up the point about a man used in a role, and it's It's important in this game, even though you have 24-man rosters, don't ask a guy to do something he can't do. If you play Bobby Dernier every day, he's going to hit 250, 255. But if you spot him against left-handers, he's going to have a year where he hits close to 300. So using him in that role and knowing his limitations, he becomes a valuable man for your team rather than a guy that you just look at as another one of the outfielders. And that man's going to have to use Bobby Dernier well this year. He's got a lot of outfielders to shuttle in and out of that lineup.
Part of putting all the pieces together. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Dernier jam, bounces it to third. Fair ball. Law across to Grace, 2 gone. Sutcliffe came in on Dernier and got him on the bouncer to third.
Let's isolate on Vance Law. Dernier got jammed, so he's not going to get out of the box very quickly. Vance Law knows he's got a lot of time. He did not make a good throw last time he had an opportunity, but this time he had time to set his feet, get everything behind it, and made a good bullet throw to Mark Grace.
Tom Herr, the veteran second baseman. Herr celebrating his 33rd birthday today. 0 for 2 so far. This one low, ball 1. Didn't make much difference to Herr whether he was in the American League or National League last year. He had 260 with the Cardinals and 263 with the Twins. 1 ball, no strikes. Now closer to home in the state of Pennsylvania with the Phillies. Goes the other way, and Webster catches up to it. Mitch Webster makes the grab to retire the side. 1 run on the home run. We go into the bottom of the 5th. 3-1 Cubs.
Nature's light. Bathing fields of grain. Enriching full, fresh hops. Giving life to sparkling streams. Nourishing all the natural things that go into making Bud Light. The light beer that's beechwood aged for a clean, fresh taste that makes Bud Light the one light that outshines them all.
Only a few days left to take advantage of this special offer from AT&T. Listen.
If you're a business spending over $120 a month in long-distance services, and you think that you're saving 20 to 30% with another carrier, we want you to try AT&T Pro Watts. We'll waive the installation charges, waive the change charges, and if you're not satisfied and agree that we have the best value, price, and quality, at the end of 90 days, we'll pay to put you back on your other long-distance vendor. You can save 10 to 38% on AT&T long distance.
And that's not all. With AT&T Pro Watts, no special lines or equipment are needed. Get distance-sensitive pricing, get a detailed record of individual calls, and you save 10 to 38% on AT&T long distance. Call 1-800-222-0400. Remember, we'll pay to switch you over. We'll pay the installation fee, and if you're not satisfied, we'll pay to switch you back. Call now. Pro Watts offer ends April 15th.
Participating sponsor in Cubs baseball is Cub Cadet, makers of tough tractors for your little corner of the world.
Hang on, Kurt Russell is going to take you for a ride. Used Cars. Tonight at 7 on Channel 9.
How many consecutive openers? About 20.
Joe Girardi opens the bottom of the 5th inning, fouling the first pitch back, strike 1. Girardi picked up his first big league hit in the 3rd inning and scored the first run of this ball game. Facing Floyd Yeomans, and this time a ground ball to short, handled by Thon. Cross to Hayes, 1 gone. Take another look at the catch by Mitch Webster to end the top half this inning.
Webster's had a fine day in left field. Jimmy Pearsall changed his glove. He's now using a smaller glove, and it's working because the ball is sticking in it. And this is the second time that Webster's come over with a fine running effort to take at least a double away from one of the Phillies.
That's going to bring up Rick Sutcliffe. Sutcliffe successfully executed a hit and run his first time up, and he takes a strike. Well, you are well connected, aren't you, Steve?
Sam Skinner in the booth with us for the 20th consecutive opener, and being with the Department of Transportation, you have to have your hands full. Every time I look up, you're making an announcement of some sort.
Well, we have been pretty busy, but it's delightful to be here at the Cub game. I tell you, this is about my 20th opener, and it's exciting to be here, and the stadium looks great, crowd looks great, and Cubs look a little better than I thought they might so far. I've been watching them from Washington at the spring training, and I was a little pessimistic, but I'm impressed with what I see. Sutcliffe looks pretty good.
And everybody cooperating, including the weatherman. It's turned out to be a beautiful day in Chicago.
Well, it is, and you know, I got something. The FAA tells me that you guys fly all the time, so I've got a hat from the FAA for each of you.
All right, thanks.
Good, but it's good to be here. It's good to watch the Cubs.
Sutcliffe fouls this one, so the count is still 0-2.
Well, thank you. I know you have your hands full right now, and I know that when you took the position, you didn't realize you'd be so busy so early, but you're doing a very good job, and we're just happy to have you at Wrigley Field today.
It's good to see you, and let's try to play some golf. If it slows down, we'll play some golf this summer.
Sounds good.
See you. Thanks. Very nice.
Okay, Sam Skinner, Secretary of Transportation. 2 strikes the count on Rick Sutcliffe. And a ground ball. It's going to skip through into center field. Another hit for Sutcliffe. Rick Sutcliffe on an 0-2 pitch guided that one through the middle. So the Cubs have a man aboard with 1 out for the top of the order. You know, speaking of opening days, there's a fellow here from Cicero, Arthur Farmer Hack. This is his 54th Cub opener. How about that?
That's a lot of openers. He's seen some good days, some bad days, and not too many better than this, and certainly, Dwayne, none earlier. This is the earliest the Cubs have ever opened in Chicago.
There's a bunt by Walton, a good one. Smith can't reach the plate. And the Cubs have runners at first and second. Jerome Walton, who all spring contended that he was a good bunter, is showing us that he can put the ball down.
This is a good place to bunt because you have the high grass in the infield, and it's a do-or-die play for Schmidt. He can't come up with it. He knows that Walton can run. And there's a lot of scouts in the stands today who are going to bring their third baseman in when Walton comes to bat. That's to his benefit. It was a perfect bunt. And let's hope that Sean Dunston was looking at that, because that can put a lot of points on your batting average.
In a couple ways. Not only can you bunt for base hits, but as you alluded, with that third baseman in, you're going to get a base hit or two by the third baseman when you're swinging away. Here's Webster taking the pitch down for a ball.
Mike Maddox up once again in the bullpen for Philadelphia, as Floyd Yeomans, who looked like he might be running out of gas in the 4th inning, is in trouble once again here in the 5th.
Now we have a bullpen ball loose. You know, Walton last year at Pittsfield had 20 bunt hits. And realistically, it figures he ought to get about 20 bunt hits every year.
I think he can do that because he runs well, and it looks to me, Dwayne, like he sets up very well to put the bunt down, and he knows that if he can get it at the third baseman, get it away from the pitcher, his natural speed is going to take him down the line. That time you couldn't ask for better execution, and it came at a good time as far as the Cubs are concerned. And I was going to mention that Rick Sutcliffe was probably very observant in the spring and realized his team didn't generate a lot of offense, so he's taken it into his own hands today.
The 1-0 pitch to Webster is too low. 2-0.
A lot of goodies up here in the booth. Lars Anderson from Anderson's Candy Shop has dropped off a present, along with the Kennys from Nuts on Clark, keeping our weight up during the early spring.
2 balls, no strikes. Well, that's great. This one is low for ball 3. 3-0. Got to keep that weight on.
Well, the prunes also came for Arnie, so we'll send those down there. We're doing pretty well. We got the FAA hats. It's quite a day. Cubs winning the ball game.
3-1 lead. There's a strike. You know, this has pretty much been the same scenario that Yeomans has found himself suffering through earlier in his career. First couple innings, he'll throw the ball well, and then as he gets 3, 4, 5 innings into a game, he starts to lose a little bit. Fly ball, not too deep. James in left. Under the ball to make the catch. 2 gone. I want to send along our best to Val Mazinga, a longtime Tribune photographer who's recovering from surgery. We wish him well.
And a couple of Cub fans looking on in Phoenix. Susie Lorenz, Mary Manguso enjoying the game today. This brings up an interesting situation with Ryne Sandberg, who has driven the ball down the line twice. The If you're on the mound knowing that a man has gotten around that quickly on your fastball, you tend to keep the ball away, and this is when Sandberg can drive the ball to right and right center if he stays with it.
Sandberg takes it low, snapped throw to first. Walton back in. Cubs scored a run in the third, 2 more in the fourth, and the Phillies got on the board with a run in the fifth. Dawson and Daulton have hit home runs. And a looper into short right, falling in for a base hit. Jones with a pickup, and here's a throw to the plate, way offline. Sutcliffe scores. Over to third goes Walton, and down to second goes Sandberg. The Cubs now lead 4-1 on an RBI looping single into right field by Ryne Sandberg.
We're going to take a look at the throw to the plate by Ron Jones. It's well off the mark. He thought he could cut down Sutcliffe, but not with a throw this wide. And we'll see Sandberg, who does go the opposite way, hits it in a perfect spot, dumps it over the head of Tommy Herr. And here comes Sutcliffe. He is doing everything right today. And that might be it for Floyd Yeomans, who was losing it last inning and certainly has lost it this inning.
Nick Leba, the manager, on his way to the mound. He has the bullpen busy. Well, Ron Jones made that wide throw to the plate. He didn't realize that Sutcliffe has lost about 25 pounds and isn't as wide as he used to be. So he scores to give the Cubs a 3-run lead again. It's 4-1, and the Phillies have a full-scale conference going on the mound.
I got to believe this is going to be a familiar scenario for Nick Leba. His starting pitching is somewhat in disarray. He's gone out to the mound to talk with Yeomans. Now he wants to talk to him about perhaps being very careful with Dawson, and either that or walking him. Now if he tries to pitch around him, Dwayne, there it comes into play. Well, at this point nothing will come into play because they're going to put him at first base.
So Dawson, who hit the 2-run home run in the fourth inning, will receive the intentional walk in the fifth to load the bases for Mark Grace. This is the first walk issued by Yeomans. Walton at third, Sandberg at second, and with this pass, Dawson will take over at first. There's Nick Leba, the new manager, longtime member of the St. Louis Cardinal coaching staff and their organization, and of course Don Zimmer directing the Cubs. And so far, Don Zimmer feels much better about the first 5 innings of this game than he did the entire spring.
Don kept saying that when April 4th rolls around, all the records are out the window, that you start all over again. Everybody starts 0-0. And it's been a very fast start. You know, he might have set the tone for the whole season, Dwayne, on that hit and run with Sutcliffe and Girardi. A surprise to everybody, but Zimmer got some motion.
Here's Mark Grace taking a strike on the outside corner. Grace has singled and has grounded out to second. Yeomans backs off. Boy, a base hit here. Into the dirt, blocked by Darren Daulton. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I think this is something that Mark Grace is going to see a lot this year, and that's why this becomes a big at-bat, even though it's early. You walk Dawson, you get to Grace with a right-hand pitcher on the mound, and this is when he should take advantage of a lot of RBI situations. A base hit here might really elevate his confidence.
He should have many opportunities. And there's ball 2 down and in. You're right, a hit here would spell the end of Yeomans and be a big lift for Mark Grace in the role that he's going to have to fill this year in that batting order. Two and 1 to count. Cubs have out-hit the Phillies 9-4. Here we go. Ball 3. So Yeomans, after throwing a strike to start Grace with, has missed on the next 3 pitches.
And now he's got to see a fastball. Yeomans knows 1 walk takes him out of the ball game. He should get a good hittable pitch here, and let's see if Mark Grace can handle it.
Down to Yeomans and Grace on this 3-1 pitch. And he smacks it foul behind Jose Martinez. So the count is full.
Now the advantage of the runners going. That'll mean that a double or a long single might clear the bases.
Walton, Sandberg, and Dawson, the runners from third to first, so they can run. The 3-2 from Yeomans. And a shot into right field. Jones back, and he reaches up to make the catch. Grace lines to right, and the Cubs settle for 1 run. 3 hits and lead 3 at the end of 5. Cubs 4, Phillies 1.